At the time of making this video, it's a sad but true fact. There are no direct, regularly scheduled commercial flights to the United States or Canada from Lithuania. Recently, there was one infrequent charter flight from Vilnius to Punta Cana, but this could only be booked as part of a tour package with a specific travel agency. So, when it comes to destinations served by Lithuanian airports like Kaunas and Vilnius, we're mainly limited to cities in Europe. All of this means that if you're an American or Canadian hoping to visit this wonderful country of Lithuania, you have to accept one single fact. You will need to make at least one airport connection to get here. So, as things currently stand, what are some of the options available to get here? Well, first, you obviously don't need me to tell you what's available. Flight search engines do the job quite well most of the time. However, if you have a preferred airline or airline alliance, maybe you can benefit more from this video. And if you're looking to save money or have a longer stopover in another city along the way, this video might help you with some additional ideas and options. So let's get started. The big thing to know is that there are 3 international airports in Lithuania: Vilnius, Kaunas, and Palanga. At the time of making this video, Kaunas Airport is fully dominated by low-cost carriers Ryanair and Wizz Air. So you can instantly rule out that airport if you want to travel on a single itinerary where your bags are automatically transferred and you have some measure of protection if you miss a connecting flight. I'll go over this topic in more detail later in the video. Palanga Airport on Lithuania's coast currently has one full-service network airline serving it, which is SAS. Because SAS has flights from American cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and more, you'll be able to get to Palanga with a single stopover in Copenhagen or Oslo. Ultimately though, if you're coming to Lithuania from really far away and flying on a single itinerary or booking, then you'll most likely end up at Vilnius Airport. Vilnius has the most full-service airlines flying to it, airlines that also service North America and many other parts of the world. As of making this video, there are about 7 full-service airlines that fly to Vilnius. Brussels Airlines through Brussels, Finnair through its hub at Helsinki, SAS with its hub in Copenhagen, LOT Polish Airlines with its hub in Warsaw, Lufthansa with its hub in Frankfurt, Swiss with its hub in Zurich, and finally Turkish Airlines with its hub in Istanbul. While Air France and KLM don't fly to Vilnius, these airlines have a codeshare agreement with Air Baltic. As a result, you can use these airlines, connect in Paris or Amsterdam, and land in Vilnius with Air Baltic, all on one booking. All of this means that if you live in a big enough city served by one of the previously mentioned airlines, it's just a single stopover for you to get to Lithuania. If you live in a smaller city, you might have to have 2 stops instead. Oh, and if you know anything about airline alliances and airline loyalty programs, it's worth noting that the Star Alliance seems to be the most prominent airline alliance serving Vilnius Airport. So if you're a member of a loyalty program with a Star Alliance member, lucky you. You have many more options available. Flying with these airlines and traveling on a single booking is definitely going to be the least stressful experience. These airlines tend to have a checked bag allowance included in their prices. And usually, if you're traveling on one itinerary, your baggage will automatically be transferred. As I mentioned earlier, flying on one itinerary also means that if the first part of your flight is delayed or rescheduled, the airline is usually obligated to put you on the next available flight or make alternate arrangements to get you to your destination. When the next flight isn't until the next day, they tend to put you up in a hotel, and it's this peace of mind that often justifies the higher fares of flying on a single booking. But if you're looking to save money or get a little more creative in making your way to Lithuania, there are alternate ways to get here by air. As you can see from all of these route maps, Lithuanian airports are well served by budget airlines Ryanair and Wizz Air. This means you can travel to one of the cities that is served by a Ryanair or Wizz Air flight and then book a separate flight with these airlines to get to Lithuania. For example, you can get a flight into London, then book a super cheap Ryanair or Wizz Air flight from London Luton to Vilnius. Or perhaps book a long-haul flight to Austria, Madrid, or Milan and do the same with the same budget airlines. There are a few benefits to doing this. You might be able to save some money, picking out the cheapest airlines and the best deals, and the other benefit is that you can spend more time in your connecting city by making your flight to Lithuania later. Then you can spend a few days in Madrid or Milan and see a little more of Europe. Of course, if you're doing this, any money you save will go towards airport shuttles and hotels. But of course, with this method, you'll be exposed to all the downsides and risks of flying on at least 2 separate airline bookings. This means that you won't be protected if you miss your connecting flight, and if your first airline changes its flight schedule, you could face a little bit of stress having to cancel or reschedule the second flight. Additionally, checked baggage won't be transferred automatically, which means you'll need to pick it up at the baggage carousel and recheck it for your second flight. In my opinion, the risks and stresses outweigh the benefits, so if your ultimate goal is to get to Lithuania, just book an itinerary with one of the full-service airlines mentioned. Lithuania is a relatively small country, and its small airports reflect this. Thankfully, however, there are a handful of big airlines that will connect you to this beautiful part of the world with limited stress and worry. Are you planning a flight to Lithuania anytime soon? What airline will you be flying with? Share your plans by leaving a comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.